The head coach of the now 9-5 Philadelphia Eagles, Nick Sirianni. Nick, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning, Coach. Nick. So, Nick, you get a win, convincing fashion. Congratulations on just thumping the Raiders. I'm sure it felt not only great to get the win, but did you feel a relief after obviously 3 weeks that had been tough and all that had been said and all that had occurred? Did you feel relief to get a win and get a win that way?
Yeah, no, I don't think of it that way. I felt joy. You know, you put so much work into every time you step on that field. The players, the coaches, everybody puts so much into it, and so you feel joy when you have that success after, you know, and get a win. So, and I felt joy about how we played Eagle football. So, you know, really, you know, with our tough, detailed, and together. So really, it was joy, no relief there. I'm confident in what this team and these players and these coaches can do.
Coach, with the short week and the fact that we've all but locked up the 2 or the 3 seed, you got a banged up opponent, but you got banged up Jalen also. How much consideration was put into just resting Jalen to try to heal him up for the stretch?
Yeah, we got to go out and play good football and win this game. You know, we're still, you know, we're doing some things and we want to keep getting better at the things we do. So we get to, you know, when we get to the playoffs, you know, when we get to, the next weeks, you know, we're playing our best football by the end of the year. And so we got strides to continue to make. And that's what we're thinking about.
How likely is it Lane Johnson and Jalen Carter could return this week? And how strongly would you consider Fred Johnson at guard when Lane returns because of Fred's solid play and also his experience at guard?
Yeah, you know, we'll see. You know, we feel really good about the guys that, you know, I think Tyler and Landon have been playing really good football. And, you know, we'll see with Jalen and Lane. I know they're doing everything they need to do to get back as fast as they possibly can. And obviously this team needs those great playmakers that we have there. And, you know, we'll see as the week goes on. I'd hate to say, hey, yeah, they're going, or hey, they're not going, and then something changes. So that's kind of, you know, I know you guys kind of get on me about not giving you any information, but there's a strategy behind it. You know, don't want your opponents to know many things, and then also don't want to put, you know, when I don't know the 100% answer, you don't want to put that on anybody there either. So we'll see. We got time, and we got time to think about it and time to ponder on it.
Nick Sirianni with us here as he is every Tuesday at this time. Nick, Jalen's running fantastic in the last game, and obviously more than it had been. When that gets deployed, is that more of you guys saying to him, we need you to do this, or more of Jalen during the week telling you and Kevin, it's time for me to run, let's dial it up?
You know, I think a lot has been made about this because I've been asked about this a lot. Like, Jalen's willing to do anything he needs to do to win each and every football game. And so, like, we're putting the plan together, we taught, and then we teach it to the players. And, you know, we go through everything with the guys. And I'm, like I said, I mean, Jalen will do anything he needs to do to win every game. And does that mean we had more, you know, quarterback quarterback runs the last game or options to run? Yeah, maybe, you know, in that last game. But I feel like that's been kind of blown overboard there because, again, Jalen Hurts is the ultimate competitor. He'll do anything. We saw it last year, we saw it this year. Like he'll hand the ball off 50 times, or he'll throw it however many times he needs to. He'll run it when he needs to, and so everything we got to do to win each game is on the table, and everybody's always been on board.
The ankle and the knee, you know, he got, you know, kind of rolled up there underneath his own body on that moment. I know for Saturday you're not going to tell us, but
are you talking? Which one are you?
Jalen Hurts, I should say. Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. No. Are you talking about the play near the end?
Yes. His second to last. His second to last play when he you know had the ankle or knee or both. Is he going to practice today?
You guys are speculating there a little bit. He came in and threw a dime the very next play for a touchdown, and then he came out because of the lead that we had. So we looked through everything. You know, and we're walking through today just because it's a short week. Looking forward to a really good practice.
So 2 sacks for the old man on the other side of the football. Do you like Brandon Graham more as a D tackle or as a D end, Coach?
You know what I would say, John, is like what a example of just selflessness.
I'll say.
The man's played outside. I know he's rushed inside, and I know he's had reps inside. And
the sack in the Super Bowl on Tom Brady was from the D tackle spot.
I know. I'm very well aware of that. Yeah, and so, but he hasn't played there and just been in there. And he does everything he needs to do to help. Just like we talked about with Jim, do anything he needs to do to help this team win. And that's just the definition of selflessness. Hey, BG, we need you to go inside. We're a little light there. Go inside and get some reps there. Hey, think about that. A man who's been 16 years in the NFL, willing to do anything, even play out of position, even play something where he hasn't played as much. And I stopped myself when I said out of position because BG can do so many different things.
Yeah.
But it's just a great example of a great teammate and a great selflessness. That I've talked about that with the team. Hey, we have the need here right now, and BG's going to fill that. Like, what an example for everybody, and that's what you're trying to build. You're not only trying to build your offense and defensive schemes throughout the year, your fundamentals. You're also trying to build together as a football team, and that was a great example for that. And it was just awesome to see him get rewarded with two sacks there. And like, Bob Lang comes in and he says, hey, I got a stat. BG is like, he kind of goes over some stats with me before I talk to the team. He's like, BG is the oldest player to have 2 sacks in the first half since 2000. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how'd you get that stat? But it's pretty awesome that, BG was able to get that production and, doing something selflessly for the team.
So what does it mean to you that most consider your schedule down the stretch to be one of the easier ones in the NFL? Is that cause for concern or cause for confidence?
Us guys, we are. I'm not focused on anything else but Washington this next game, and we think about everything we need to do to win this game and to play our best football this game. And I know the NFL, like the NFL. Anybody can beat you at any time, and this is a team that has a lot of good players. I have a lot of respect for their coaches and what they've done. Team that was in the NFC Championship game a year ago, and they have our full attention. And we got to go play our game, and we got to go play good football. And that's what the goal is, and nothing else. And again, all those things are good for fans and media, but we can't we can't be like everybody else. We have to focus on one game at a time, one day at a time, one practice at a time, one walkthrough at a time. As boring as that sounds, or as a coach speak as you guys think that may be, that's reality, and that's how we live.
Is that the code? I mean, you're about to win the division for the 3rd time in 4 years. This is a level of consistency that hasn't been seen since I played in 2003 and 2004 when they went back to back. Now you're stringing them together, Coach. How'd you crack the code? How hard is it to replicate this type of success?
Well, we haven't won any division yet. We got to go out and play a good game here. But we put a lot of work into sustained success. Like, I think you see that throughout the league. It's hard to sustain success in this league, and that's what that's what we've been focused on. Since after we won the Super, we've always been focused on that. But like after we won the Super Bowl, I mean, that was something that we did deep studies in. Is just sustained success, because in professional sports, any sports, sustained success is hard, especially in the game of football, especially in pro football. Just with, you play first place schedules, you play prime time, whatever it may be. Sustained success is hard, and that's just something that you get the right people around in the building. You preach it, you talk about it, you live it, and you just try to get better every single day.
Nick Sirianni with us here. Nick, I thought you said something really interesting after the game. You were asked about the team's identity, and you can tell me if I'm paraphrasing wrong, but it sounded to me like you were indicating the identity can be the identity even if we've struggled doing it. And it struck me like you were talking about you want the team to run the ball a lot and run the ball well, and that at its core is still what this offense can be. Is that essentially what you were trying to drive at with that comment after the game on Sunday?
Not necessarily. Again, like you can have certain things that you do, and that could be with your play action game, that could be with your run game, that could be with your pass game that you do that you're good at, and there's sometimes like this game ain't easy. You guys know that this is a hard sport, and sometimes the plan doesn't go as you thought, but you find different ways to do it, and you stick within your identity. I think to answer your question about that, the run game though is we always want to be a balanced attack. That's good business, right? Because when you're a balanced attack, and that's worked for us, right? I think last year we were the number one running offense, and a couple years ago we were the number one running offense, and that's good business for us because that sets up our play action stuff, that sets up our drop back stuff, that sets up different things that we can do, and so we always want to be balanced, and that's just something that we think a lot about. We got special players that to be able to do that, and to be able to throw it and pass it. And so that's just always been our philosophy of being a balanced attack.
Coach, I woke up this morning and I have shovel back. How do you prevent shovel back in your players? And this is something I've never thought about. Like when it gets cold, you have to coach differently too, don't you? And how does it change things for you coaching it up when it's freezing cold?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't shovel, so I don't know, and I'm not playing anymore, so I don't have to deal with those things. But the fundamentals are always so important to us. You've heard me talk about this for 5 years of how important your tackling is, how important your ball security is, how important your blocking is, how important your catching, all those different things. They get amplified in the weather, and so we feel like that we've put so much time into our fundamentals that weather is an advantage to a team that thinks it's an advantage. And so we put so much time into those, and they just get amplified a little bit more, in that weather. The wind, like as far as my job, and that's for the players being able to execute there. And that's why as much as we possibly can, if the fields are whatever, we try to go outside because we're going to play outside.
Yeah.
And but then as far as my job goes with the wind and everything like that, there's a ton of things that we think about.
Sure.
Particularly for the offense, special teams, but also playing defense with that. And so there's a lot of just like when someone asks me, why'd you do this in a situation, or what was your thought process in a situation? That process was thought about, and that decision was thought about for the past 17 weeks, not just in the spur of the moment. Well, it's the same thing with the weather. My decisions of, taking the ball, calling timeouts in certain spots, I won't get all into that. I don't think that's smart for me to go too far into that. But those decisions have been made, through the 17 weeks. Now, that doesn't mean things don't adjust based off the wind and all those different things of how it's blowing that day. But, we spent a lot of time, when I was young in this business, they'd be like, every detail matters. I'm like, yeah, that's just something to say. But no, every detail matters. Like every single detail matters, especially when you have the parity that you have in the NFL.
Hey, Nick, we are not going to be here Tuesday of next week. So we just want to certainly wish you, your family, and your football team a Merry Christmas, obviously, as we get closer to that. Of course, good luck versus Washington, but also Merry Christmas to your whole squad.
I appreciate that. Merry Christmas to you guys. Well, happy holidays, and you guys have a good Christmas.
You too. Thanks, Nick. Coach. All right, there he is, Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni. All right, 215-592-9494. James, he didn't like speculation on Jalen right there. I mean,
no, he was not having it.
He did kind of
shut it down.
He did kind of show a little signs of,
I guess Jalen's okay.
Can I make
nothing to worry about there?
Can I, as Hugh Douglas likes to say, recklessly speculate?
Well, we did see him not feeling great after the play, and
he'll be on the injury report.
Of course he will.
He basically said, "Shut it."
Yes,
of course he will.
I loved it. I thought
he basically said, "Shut it."
You should keep your mouth.
But he was the reason is he was laughing as he said it.
Well, I mean, the reality
you
is
guys are speculating.
He either is or isn't going to practice today. That has nothing to do with whether he plays on Sunday or Saturday.
Dare you speculate?
He's either going to practice today or not.
How dare?
How dare me? How dare me?